Let me be your leader.
I hate that advice from optimizers who are usually trying to sell you like their language learning program or something. Like, well, you have time. Just stop playing so many video games. It's the same as that advice to like people on a budget of like, just stop buying so much Starbucks. Like, what if I don't buy Starbucks? What then? What do I cut out then? There really is so much time in a day, and there really is so much money in my wallet. And what if I like having Starbucks? I deserve nice things. This all came to me because I made paneer this morning, which, if you don't know, is just, it's an Indian simple cheese that you heat up your milk, put a moth in it, no, don't let the moth in, and put an acid in, and then let it kind of distracted by a moth. Don't get distracted by moths, then you'll have enough time. So you heat your milk, put an acid in, let it coagulate, then strain the curds, pack them tight, let it drain for like 3 or 4 hours. Then you got cheese, which is, if you've ever listened to any foreigner who lives in China, is the reason why living in China is so troublesome. There's no cheese. But you can make a simple cheese at home if you just take the time. And I like projects. I like to do so many things.
Hi, hello.
Oh, hello. I like to speak with the people. I like to make cheese. I like to grow plants. I like to learn languages. I like to exercise. I like to have a job because that pays me money. I like to make videos. I like to write things. I want to learn ukulele. That's the thing. Here's the guilt. I've got to the guilt nugget. I wish that I spent more time in my life on music than I do, but I really think I don't have time.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. What's your name? I'm Emily. What's your name?
It's Liu Yuhao.
Ah, nice to meet you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I mean, you gotta make time for the kids. Forgot what I was saying. I feel like modernity involves a lot of people trying to sell you the idea you can have it all without giving anything up. And that's just not true. Like, you do have to make choices. I only have 24 hours, and I need a lot of sleep. I need more sleep than I wish I needed, but it's a fact of biological life. I need to sleep. So then I do have time to learn language and make films and exercise, but I guess I don't have time right now to learn to play the ukulele. It's better when I'm on vacation, as I currently am. Maybe instead of going to work. But I also want to do some more writing and filming and editing and all of our art. The same as, like, maybe I do like a coffee from time to time, but then that does mean I can't buy a new sports bra until next month. There just really isn't enough. There's enough time to make some interesting choices. There's not enough time to have it all. I mean, I get annoyed by optimizers because I have that tendency to optimize, but that's and I don't feel good. Like, I'll feel good that night, like I did a million things, and then the next day I'll just be too tired to do anything else. I'd rather live a good life than an optimum life, even if the competitive hurt me inside or outside. I don't know where she comes from. Where's that lady come from? Wants to be optimized. I think it's not really worth it. I mean, it is to think about the choices you make. We met a student, a young man, in a cab yesterday. He's a local student who speaks pretty good English. He had a pretty good conversation with us for like 20 minutes. And he asked me, I mean, if you don't know, Chinese high school students they speak about optimizing. He told us he gets up at 5:30 and goes to bed at 1 a.m. And I believe it that every second is spent doing schoolwork. And he was asking for some advice about how to learn more English, and he said, should I memorize the dictionary, which is a very methodical way to go about it, but it is also a recipe for burnout. And so I told him the language advice that I have followed myself to good effect, and that I tell my students is that pick something you're interested in and use that as a vehicle for learning more vocabulary and reading news stories and listening and blah blah, all your skills, all the receptive and blopative skills, production skills. So he had mentioned, we talked about the NBA. He was very interested in basketball. So I said, for you, don't read the dictionary. Read articles about the NBA. Watch things about the NBA. Listen to news stories about the NBA. And then write down the words you don't know from that. Because if your brain wants to feed itself with things it's already into, versus if you're for me, if I read a story about the NBA, I don't care about sports. So it's kind of I have to learn two things at once instead of one thing at once. So I'm not opposed to optimizer thinking, but if I get too focused on efficiency, it does start to make my life feel not even like I'm a factory worker, but like I'm a factory. And my output is my life, which isn't the greatest way to relate to yourself. Or that's what's been helpful, is focusing on the choices that you do make, that I make. I made paneer this morning and studied Chinese instead of, I don't know, exercising or whatever, or playing the ukulele. I'm making those choices on purpose, which makes them feel meaningful. I'll admit I do a little too much browsing online some days, but it is also I'll spend some days where I get so tired that I start writing words in English that I know how to spell, just completely phonetically, because my brain is done. And I feel if I'm getting to that point, if I'm fully wringing out that sponge, I've done my best. And as a therapist once told me, that's all I can do.